So there's a lot of people mad right now because of my hairstyle, and they're saying that it's only Black culture. And let me just start off saying I am from Oaxaca, that it's a more indigenous part of Mexico, which you should already know about my name, which is the Aztec goddess. And what really irks my soul is that TikTok got so comfortable bullying Hispanic people out of their culture and making them feel bad for wearing braids. Like, I hope you guys know that braids are also Native Americans' culture and not just Black people's culture or African culture. Yes, it's their culture, but not only theirs. People just stereotype Mexican braids with because these are the braids that we wear with our floral dresses because that's our culture. This is a picture of my older sister with braids, and that's me. This is years ago. Before TikTok came and did their thing where it's nobody can wear braids without being scared that they're gonna get bullied out of them. You know what irks my soul even more is that people are so biased when it comes to Mexicans and Hispanic people and Latins in general. And there's people that are not even from the Black community that feel the need to have to attack somebody because that's all that they've seen on TikTok. They are so uneducated that the only knowledge that they have is people telling others that they cannot wear braids unless they're Black. There's this creator right here who loves Mexican cultures and even wears our cultural dresses because she said she loves the Hispanic culture and loves everything about us. She's even fluent in Spanish. In her comments, there's nothing but love. Do you see this? Nothing but love from the Hispanic community. And people were telling me to apologize for wearing my braids. And let me just say this. I would never apologize or be bullied out of wearing my own freaking cultural braid because you guys feel the need to tell me that I need to be Black in order to wear braids. Respectfully. And if that wasn't enough for you, let me show you another example of how people are biased towards Mexicans. When the little Kayla drama happened on TikTok, if you don't know, search it up. She made racist tweets in the past about Mexicans. But when people were trying to cancel her for being racist, the majority, and I know it's not all, but the majority of the Black community were so quick to say, oh no, we can't cancel her. That was years ago. Oh, but when Jeffree Star's tweet and Peka, with all of that drama happened on TikTok as well, and everyone was so quick to cancel them for being racist towards the Black community, majority again, like I'm saying majority, not all, a lot of the Black community and even a couple Hispanics were ignorant enough to say, oh, I'm gonna still listen to little Kayla. I don't care. Because again, you guys pick and choose when to pull the race card out. And that's just straight facts. When we hold the people accountable for being racist to the Black community, we expect you guys to hold the people in your community accountable as well. So quit being fucking biased.
Before anything, guys, I just want to know, how do you like my look? This is the second time I am wearing makeup, and this is gonna be like me practicing makeup. I really want to perfect my skill by next year, that I actually look how I want to look. Really, honestly, like I really want to perfect it by next year. So every weekend I'm literally going to dedicate my time to my makeup. Any tips that you guys can give, I'll take. I'm still confused about a lot of brush, like my contour as well. Here, I really don't know how to do that, and I really want to contour the shape of my face actually. So I don't know, guys. Does it match my skin? Did I go? Yeah, let me know. Regardless of this look, which I am loving, let's jump into the actual video. Listen, I feel like as a South African woman, culture is more than hair. Culture it's more than hair, like I want to say. It's more than that. I feel like in Africa, I would feel like culture is more than hair. We express ourselves in many forms through us being African people, Black people, and hair is part of that. You can't separate that. So it's not like culturally hair, like I don't associate hair to culture. When I think about culture and tradition, I think of something completely different, and in the way which we represent. Although when you're gonna wear something culturally and traditionally, I would expect you to adhere to that, like your outfit, the way you look, your hair, I would be acting somewhat different if a black girl wearing a traditional attire then wears a wig. Like, I feel like it needs a flow of movement. You need to balance yourself. That's when I would be acting. But I wouldn't necessarily be holding people out and calling them out and saying, listen, your hair looks some type of way. This is cultural appropriation. Because, yeah, I feel like, she's talking to Americans, but outside as an African person from all of this situation, this is how I would view it. So you let me know how you view it as well. But I just want to hear also the opinions of others as well. So yeah.
Everything she said right there is absolutely true. And here is why. White people did not discover America, obviously. Indigenous people were here. But before white people ever knew indigenous people were here, or even knew that this existed in general, there were African tribes that were explorers and were adventurers. And guess what they did? Shared ideas with the people that they met. They lived amongst them, traveled, and never really needed to take over anything. That's why there's so many similarities amongst a lot of different tribes along, the Polynesian culture, Aztec culture, indigenous culture, African culture. That's why it all ties together. Duh. Back when I was in high school, I was very rebellious and I liked to express myself, and I really didn't like always learning about white history. So I communicated that with my very rebellious white history teacher, and look what she showed me. I learned this shit back in high school and I'll never fucking forget it. This is a mummified Incan girl, and let me tell you a little bit more about her story. But before I do that, I do want to show you a closer look of her hair. Notice how much of it is, and this is all her real natural hair after 400 years plus, okay? Her hair was braided so tightly that it took at least 2 years before her death to start them, for one thing. Another thing, the DNA was tucked so tightly in the braids that it's intact, and they could tell her diet simply from looking at the roots to the tips of her hair. Can you fucking imagine that? You can pause to read the rest of this if you want to, but anyways, like I was getting at, basically in this culture, they would sacrifice prepubescent girls, braid their hair up until they die, feed them the best of the best food, give them the best of the best experiences of life, because they're going to be sacrificed. And the more that they put into this girl, the more braids, the more intricate, the more jewels, the more shit you tuck into their braids, the bigger the sacrifice meant. So y'all really need to do your research while you guys are sitting here trying to bash people out of their own culture.
I understand, and I totally agree with everything that you said. It's part of your culture, so don't let these ignorant people bully you out of enjoying what's part of your culture.
There's this creator right here who loves Mexican cultures and even wears our cultural dresses because she said she loves the Hispanic culture and loves everything about us. She's even fluent in Spanish. In her comments, there's nothing but love. Do you see this? Nothing but love from the Hispanic community.
Oh my goodness, I'm not the girl she's talking about, but I, as someone who enjoys the Mexican culture, and I've taken part in the Mexican culture, the food, wearing even the chanclas and dressing up during the Cinco de Mayo, it's nothing but love, because I lived in the valley for quite some time, and I still have those friends in my life till today. They still share their cultures with me. They're not mad that I'm Nigerian and not Hispanic or Mexican or Puerto Rican, and I share my culture with them too. And that's the beautiful thing about cultures. They're meant to be shared.
And people were telling me to apologize for wearing my braids. And let me just say this, I would never, ever apologize or be bullied out of wearing my own freaking cultural braids.
As you should, girl. Never apologize.
You don't need to be a suck up to appreciate people's stuff. That's what I'm gonna say. I can appreciate a lot of cultures. I love Italian culture also, but I'll never be a suck up just because I love their culture. Never. I might be biased, but never a suck up. Never. And that's exactly what you would find in black people, because their community does not have a stronghold of being authentically something, so they're gonna literally find it in other communities. So the last girl really but opinions needs to be shared. It might be not something I would personally agree with, but yeah, it's something that I might acknowledge and share, because that's what this channel is about.